What's up, everyone? My name is Colin Moriarty. I'm senior editor of IGN. I'm here with David Ballard from Naughty Dog. He helped design and create the multiplayer component of The Last of Us, which is, an awesome multiplayer component. I think it kind of came up and surprised a lot of people about how good it was. We're going through each map in the game, the 7 core maps of the game, to kind of go through some of the design philosophies and some of maybe the cool Easter eggs and things that kind of David can give us a little illumination on. So, David, let's talk about the Downtown map. And, of course, Downtown is an interesting map because it seems to be a map that a lot of people kind of don't prefer to play.
So, breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart. I love this map. This is actually one of the ones I was most passionate about while making it. You can tell in the amount of detail I put into a lot of the art. There's a lot more foliage in this map than any of the other maps. A lot more destroyed. Very interesting environments. And so, yeah, when I see that, when I hear that people, prefer not to play on it as much, or that doesn't play as much, makes me sad. But I think we've identified some of the reasons and whatnot, and hopefully we'll be able to definitely address it in future multiplayer experiences and whatnot. But I'm gonna talk a little bit why I think that it is, but also why I think it's an amazing map, and
okay.
Hopefully more people will see it in the light that I see it, and why I love to play on it. But this map is it's very much like the other maps. It has the 2 bases. It's very linear. It's got a lot of interesting angles and whatnot, how you play it. It's a very sniper-friendly map, and I kind of intended this to be the sniper map. Every game has got one or 2. And this is definitely one that's for it. But also, I think one of the reasons that it's not as highly considered as other maps is because it's a night map, and we've found that night maps tend to be less liked because it's dark and it's hard to see, and gameplay becomes a little tougher and harder and whatnot. So yeah, people are gonna have a little hard time on darker maps, and
it does scare me a little bit when I play on it.
Absolutely, and that was also part of the intention. I mean, we wanted to set that mood and that theme. We took this from the outskirts section of Boston, and from the single player, and that's a very scary map. It's nighttime. During the single player, it's raining. We removed the rain here. It's because it was night, we wanted some visibility, and so we want people to be able to see better and whatnot. And also it gives cool mood. So here we have some fireflies, right? And this is my boy Rodney Reese put these in for us, and just trying to get this mood and just a really good setting for players to play in.
Right.
So this side of the street we have there was like an earthquake or something, right? And so this whole street's been demolished and whatnot. And this obviously that's why we have these buildings that are leaning into each other and have collapsed a bit and whatnot. There's also from the lore of the single player that the army came through and bombed a lot of it because of the outbreak and whatnot. So we you see a lot of destroyed buildings and everything, and that's because of the bombings and whatnot. So down here we have the subway, and it's created a lot of really fun gameplay down here with people posting up inside the subway cars and having combat with people coming down and whatnot. And it was never really in the focus test really one-sided. And actually that was another funny story, is that this map was one of the highest rated tests in our focus testing by outside opinions from players we brought in to test it out. So we were really happy with this map.
You were feeling confident before that.
Very happy, yeah, absolutely. And I'm still very confident about this map. I feel that players just need to get a little bit more of a chance, and I think they'll see why it's so much fun.
So what? Let's address some of the. You guys obviously read the forums. You guys are very receptive to feedback from your fans and your players. What are their specific complaints about the map? I know that one of the places was that they felt that there was kind of a place, like a kind of an impervious place for snipers to be. I know that they felt like there was a kind of an ability to camp in this map that is not available in the other maps.
So yeah, this actually goes back to our original game design. That was a part of it, was these bases, and these bases were they're designed to be very defendable and whatnot. So it's really hard, yeah, and I understand it's really hard to get up to these positions to flank these snipers and whatnot. And that's definitely, I think, something we've worked on for sure on other maps to make sure we don't have that as much. It's but it's not completely unpenetrable. It's I love getting up here and shivving a sniper in the back. There's so many ways to get into this this base here, and to allow people to sneak in, we created a lot of these flanking routes. So back here, you come from behind this bus to this police car, and you have to wait and sneak and get past these any sniper who's up there, and you wait till their attention is drawn, then you can get in. And then there's a couple ways to get back over here. Sneaking up, back routes. Thought you'd probably been pretty appreciative of all the American history.
Yeah, it's very cool. This is a very cool part of this map for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. Very interesting decor and architectural detail, and this is obviously was kind of a modern game. It's post-apocalyptic, but like a lot of the settings were modern. So go back in time and create a very old building was a lot of fun as well. So
awesome. So what other kind of Easter eggs or philosophies do you kind of want to share with us here on this particular map?
Very interesting thing about this map was the original layout design. Originally, the way that I started out is I go through the single player and I pull out about a bunch of assets and say, okay, I want to take these assets and to try and recreate the mood and the theme and the setting of that single player experience and bring it into the multiplayer. So here, in the outskirts level, the destroyed, sunken trenches of the streets were a really fun aspect to me, and the subway was a fun aspect to me, and the falling buildings. So I try to incorporate all those aspects together to create an interesting experience. And originally, this whole trench that ran along down there went through here between these buildings, and then the gameplay actually was going to go through these buildings. It was going to be going through an interior on the side, and then also the gameplay was going to go through this sunken building here, and you're going to go beyond an angle and going through hallways that were angular, and there was just some design problems that came with it. So we abandoned that pretty early on, but that was the original layout of this map. It didn't go this way here.
So does this map have any notable Easter eggs? I mean, it seems to be kind of like we were at the university and there's names everywhere, and so it makes a lot of sense. I mean, did you guys kind of hide anything here that as a note to any of your colleagues or to your company?
So we actually, little funny note is that up here we have the movie poster for Dawn of the Wolf, and the original poster was our concept artist Aaron Lamonic and our lead lighting artist Vivian. And it was very funny to see our co-workers for a very long time up on a movie poster up here, and we finally changed it to some final art. But it was that was the inspiration for that movie poster that you've seen throughout the entire game, actually.
That's awesome. So any last minute things that we want to check out here, or should we move on to the next map?
Let's move on.
All right, cool. Mr. Ballard, thank you for showing it to us. For more on all things The Last of Us, keep it tuned to IGN.